If you thought you've seen the last of Splinter Cell content on this channel, well, you thought wrong.
With still no word from the North Korean government, China's Long Dan again urged all sides to come to the bargain. We have now a late response by Admiral Toshiro Otomo of the Japanese ISDF.
Despite the ambassador's efforts, nothing has changed. The Japanese people must continue to endure harassment and humiliation. We eagerly anticipate the arrival of the...
Hey, I hear you're leaving us. Heading back for Panama.
Hate to eat and run, sir. We have a few loose ends to tie off before we can rejoin you.
Well, if you can make it back for the 4th of July, I'll show you one heck of a good time, boy.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Hey ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, you're watching Channel Hot Monkey, and we are back with a video that is way overdue. So if you're a regular viewer on the channel, especially one who is here because of Splinter Cell content, you'll probably remember the Splinter Cell Classics series that I started sometime last summer. You also might recall how one particular episode of the series was never published, the one from Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. So here we are with the long lost episode. You know how they say, better late than never. Now just to make one thing clear, this is not a gameplay video in which I talk while I play. The gameplay has been previously recorded, and the voiceover you are hearing at the moment is recorded separately
Fisher,
later on in the whole
synced
video
your
making
offset with
process.
Intelligence on the bank that you and your team gathered back in '89.
The memories.
Yeah, judging from your report, sounds like it was quite a vacation.
It was, actually. I spent most of the rest of that year sleeping in a ditch on the road between Baghdad and Kuwait.
Oh well, if it's any consolation, I had a bad year that year too.
What? You weren't working for the government during the Gulf War?
No, I was in 10th grade.
Oh, right. Yuck.
Fisher, I've got a copy of a work order here that the bank filed with their insurance company. It says the dome windows over the lobby are magnetically locked. See if you can find a breaker or junction box up here and power down the locks.
Now I do have a lot of things to talk about, but I don't want you to miss out on some cool conversations because of me talking, so I will be shutting up at certain points of the mission. Just so you know, if I randomly disappear, I'm still here, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with my microphone.
Locks on the windows. Hey, wait a minute. Power spike. The lobby. It looks like a laser grid just came online.
Lasers. Lasers are so...
90s?
I was going to say 70s. Can you please stop making me feel old?
Got bad news for you, Sam. You are old.
Fisher, here's our advisor. He'll walk you through the steps that'll get you into that vault. Be patient with him.
Oh, he's one of those.
Right. Hello? Is this thing on then?
It's on. I'm here. Have you been briefed?
Whatever. Listen, this is Mason Wells 88. Each one is unique. You want to get a butcher's up this girl's skirt. First thing you need to do is authorize an opening.
How do I do that?
The bank president and the treasurer will each have an authorization lock in their office. There'll be another one in the security office. You'll need to disable all three.
Okay.
Okay, so we're back. That was one of those moments where I intentionally had to shut up just so you guys can get a feeling of the atmosphere and so that you can hear the conversation in the background. First off, Sam's little humoristic conversations with Grim. I mean, you just don't get much of that in newer Splinter Cell games at all. In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't played Double Agent in a long time, but I'm pretty sure that Grim was not in Double Agent at all. Conviction, she was in Conviction, she had a major role in that game, but you weren't really sure if she was one of the good guys or the bad guys, and then at a certain point it becomes clear who she is, but she and Sam have this whole really tense relationship that is a little less tense in Blacklist, well, a lot less tense in Blacklist, but still, there is a lot of tension between them in that game. I mean, they're really skeptical about one another. Remember when the President of the United States of America was creating the whole fourth echelon team, and then she told Sam Fisher how he was going to be working with Anna Grimm's daughter, to which he categorically replied, no. Anna Grimm's daughter is not in the team. Of course, the president, knowing that these two are a dream team on the field, told Sam that you know, it was a no-brainer. He had absolutely nothing to say about that. Anna Grimsdottir was going to be in the team, and that's it. But anyways, just listening to Sam and Grim in Splinter Cell Chaos Theory just reminds me of one of the things why I love this game so much. And another thing why I love this game so much is just this beautiful stealth game atmosphere. I mean, a lot of people when talking about Splinter Cell, the whole series, say how Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is the best game in the whole franchise. But what people don't understand is that it's not just the gameplay that makes Splinter Cell Chaos Theory, it's also the little things, the atmosphere. Just listen and watch.
So, that's good. We are not made by second-rate laborers outballing each other for a Panamanian army service contract.
Looks like more lasers ahead, Sam. This whole place is singing with photons.
There's a guard who seems to be walking around here, no problem.
Maybe he has some kind of beacon. Get close and you can stay in his electronic shadow.
Now I really do hope I won't have any copyright problems because of the music in the background, but I just can't turn it down because doing that would be just like the equivalent of slicing this game in half. I just love the mixture of quiet moments combined with moments with this cool music in the background, which is such a perfect theme for a stealth game, especially Splinter Cell. And the music is actually one of the things that define it. It's one of the things that make people love it as much as they do. And it just goes to show you how important music and sound is in a video game. And speaking about things that define Splinter Cell Chaos Theory in particular, one of the most beloved elements of the game are the interrogations, which, if you ask me, are the best in this particular installment. So, in honor of that, let's just listen to this for a moment, shall we?
That's a neat trick you do with the lasers.
¿Qué? What? Oh, the grids. They detect some kind of signal emitted by a transmitter stitched into my uniform.
Give me the transmitter.
I don't know where it is. I swear. It's just stitched into my uniform somewhere.
That's bad news for you, because I still need to get past the lasers. And since I don't want to undress you, that means I have to take your body.
My body? You mean my unconscious body? I hope.
Either way works for me.
Ah, man, you just gotta love this. This is just pure gold. I mean, this is just one particular interrogation. There are dozens of them throughout the whole game that can put a smile on your face so many times. But anyways, I wanted to talk about why I chose this mission in particular for the third episode of Splinter Cell Classics. So if you watched the previous two videos from Splinter Cell Classics, then you knew that the third episode was going to be from Chaos Theory, but what you didn't know was what particular mission was it going to be. Well, in my mind, there was absolutely no doubt. I knew before I recorded the first episode of Splinter Cell Classics, from the first installment of Splinter Cell, I knew which particular mission I was going to record for the third episode, which was going to be from this game, Chaos Theory. It was the bank mission, and absolutely nothing else. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't like the other missions from this game. On the contrary, every single mission in this particular installment is a masterpiece for me, but this particular mission just has a sort of retro feeling to it. I mean, you're breaking into a bank in the middle of the night. It's like a flagship mission, not only for Splinter Cell, but for stealth gaming. It's just beautiful. Period. Now, I know it may sound like I'm being really subjective here, but if you're one of the millions of gamers who have enjoyed this game, then you'll know what I'm talking about. I mean, you won't need any additional explanation. Now, you may or may not be happy with the direction that Splinter Cell took in future games, but this is just the peak of stealth gaming. This right here.
Good thinking, Fisher. Now even if you're caught on camera, they won't be able to ID you.
Remember how I talked about how the game has a mixture of quiet moments
Security authorization.
and
More to
moments
go.
with music? It just has such an intuitive and intelligent way of determining whether the particular moment should have music or should it just be quiet. Now, listen how quiet it is right now because we just had a close call situation. And as the game just kind of tones down, the music disappears, and you're performing these actions behind these guys' backs, you almost get the feeling like you're really in that room. As you're doing this, what the game wants you to do, you're holding your breath. It's like if you breathe, they'll hear you. And that's just beauty. That's just pure beauty of stealth gaming. Perfectly executed in Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. And this is also a cool feature that Chaos Theory had, how Sam, in particular situations, would kind of say something like when a room is stinky, he would say, "It smells," or if it's slippery, he'd say, "Slippery." And when you're, trying to lockpick the door, he'd say, "Hurry." And it just builds to the whole atmosphere and the whole sense of urgency in particular close call situations that you find yourself in. For example, when you have to lockpick a door and a guard is going to come around the corner in any second. And when Sam says hurry, it's almost like your heart skips a beat.
That's half of the forged mail, Sam. 4 more to go.
Thanks. I've always found it hard to count past 3.
No need to be smarmy, Sam.
That's 2 down. Now just authorize from the Treasurer's office.
No need to be smarmy, Sam, but Sam just can't help himself. And frankly, we wouldn't want him any other way. That's why we love him in this game so much. Just love that sense of humor that the guy has. Really no reason to touch this guy because getting past him is a piece of cake. Now I want to take the opportunity to talk about why this episode was never published when it was supposed to be. I really don't want to waste a lot of time just talking about that, but since a lot of you guys have been asking for this 3rd episode, and since a lot of you guys are subscribed to my channel because of Splinter Cell content, I really feel the obligation to explain myself.
Right, that's authorization done. The outer cage to the vault should be opening as we speak.
Great.
Just inside the cage is a small vault full of safety boxes. Your mate dropped off some kit for you in one of them.
All right, I'll let you know when I'm there.
Oh no, Zerkazy. That's exactly what I didn't want to see.
Zerkazy, is that some kind of dried meat?
He's probably the best computational theorist in the world. He worked with Morgenholt on Project Watson. Word is he's gone off his nut.
Sounds like bad guy material to me. There.
In sports, pitcher Akira Watanabe arrived in New York yesterday.
So to make a long story short, the reason why this episode was never published last summer when it was supposed to be, when it was promised, is because of technical issues. Now, some of you already know the story because I know a lot of you have been asking me where is the 3rd episode in the comments, and I explained to you, but for those of you who don't know, this whole 3rd episode for Splinter Cell Classics was actually almost completed last summer. I finished recording the gameplay and I finished recording the commentary voiceover, and while I was editing the video, I had a malfunction on my computer. Now, since I don't have any equipment necessary for restoring data from a damaged hard drive, I took my computer to a technician who analyzed my whole system, and after analyzing it, he tried to restore the data, but he actually wasn't able to restore one piece of data from my hard disk. So not only did I lose everything that I recorded for this last episode of Splinter Cell Classics, I lost absolutely everything else that I had on that hard drive, from videos to personal photographs, I don't know, videos from family events, so many articles that I written for certain websites that I worked for certain newspapers that I worked for. I lost absolutely everything that I had on that hard disk. And the only way I can actually restore it is if I send the hard disk to a data recovery laboratory in a city near me, but that's going to cost me a lot of money, extra money that I just don't have at this moment. I did save the hard disk, so someday if I do have the extra money, then I'll restore all my lost data.
Next you need to pop both of these locks at the same time.
That's what the telemetric pick is for.
Exactly. It reads your movements in one lock and mimics them in the other lock, real time.
You guys use some cool toys.
Right. Now once you get the feel for each pin, you have to wait a second for the telemetric pick to sync up. Once it beeps, Bob's your uncle, you can pick the pin and move to the next one. Don't try and pick a pin before you're in sync, or you'll have to restart.
Right.
So yeah, basically that's the reason why this last episode of Splinter Cell Classics was never uploaded when it was supposed to be uploaded. Now, I know some of you may be asking, why didn't you just record the whole thing over again after you installed a new hard drive? And that's a perfectly legit question, but you have to understand the state of mind I was in at the time. I just lost absolutely all my information that I gathered through several years on my computer, and in terms of the video itself, I just hate the feeling of having to reproduce something that I already created. I just hate that feeling because in my mind, it could never live up to what I initially created. So I just didn't feel like making the whole video, man, and I wasn't really getting that much views on the first 2 episodes, so I thought, what the heck, you know, someday I'm gonna make this 3rd episode, but it's not right now.
I have a message here from someone named Dvorak. Echelon doesn't have a file on him. Wait, that's weird.
What?
The deleted messages. They're 512 encrypted. I haven't seen 512 since Philip Mass.
I killed Mass outside Severomorsk.
I remember. And it's confirmed. So this is someone with access to some seriously classified information.
Circazy?
That's a frightening possibility.
Great work, Fisher. One more forged mail and we're covered.
Doing my best.
Good job, Fisher. Now the whole mission will look like a robbery. They'll never know why we were here.
Lambert, now that I'm holding $50 million, I think we need to talk about that raise again.
25 cents an hour and not a penny more.
Deal.
Anyways, now that I finally did get the opportunity, and now that I found the will to recreate this long-lost episode of Splinter Cell Classics, I gotta say that this whole product is a total different thing than what it was when I initially made it and eventually lost it due to a hard drive malfunction. And I really do hope that you guys will enjoy it, especially those of you who are subscribed to channel Hot Monkey because of Splinter Cell videos. I mean, as for me, I can definitely say that I really did enjoy going back to the roots of Splinter Cell and to, you know, the most beloved Splinter Cell game of all time, Chaos Theory. I really haven't played this game in a long time, but back then when I did play it, oh man, I played the heck out of it, and I completed all these missions so many times over and over. I wasted so much of my life playing this game. Other people would say that that's time wasted. For me, that was time well spent. So yeah, I really do hope that you guys did enjoy this 3rd episode of Splinter Cell Classics, the long lost episode. There's your title right there. As for the future of the whole series, well, that's something that will depend on you. I really do enjoy making these videos, but only if I'm making them for somebody. So here's the deal. If this video can get, let's say, 30 likes, I think I'm being modest here because I do have almost 7,000 subscribers. So if this video can get 30 plus likes, I will make the 4th episode of Splinter Cell Classics within the next month. If you don't like the series, then just don't like the video. I'm not begging for likes here. Frankly, I don't care, but I just want to determine the future of the series based on the numbers. Anyways, you guys, the long lost episode of Splinter Cell Classics has finally reached its end. If you're a Splinter Cell fan yourself, please comment something in the comments below. Say whatever you want. If you like the video, like it, determine the future of the series. Subscribe for more Splinter Cell content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong.